The entire mansion fell silent when the single dad finally signed the marriage contract, his hands trembling, his heart colder than the marble beneath his elbows. He wasn't marrying for love, he was marrying for survival, for the sake of his little boy waiting behind him. Across the table sat the paralyzed heiress, her face unreadable, her beauty untouched by the wheelchair she sat in. She didn't look at him, not once, but one night, a single moment neither of them expected would shatter the contract, rewrite their fates, and make him realize he wasn't the only one carrying pain. And when the truth came out, it would change his heart forever. Ethan Malik never thought life could push a man this FAT-32. He was a widowed single dad working double shifts as a repair technician, while raising his 6-year-old son. Noah, life was already heavy, but the day Noah collapsed from unexplained fainting spells, Ethan's world collapsed. With him. Doctors had answers, but answers cost money. Money Ethan didn't have. When the hospital demanded an advance he could never afford, a lawyer approached him with an offer that felt like a lifeline wrapped in barbed wire. My client needs a husband on paper. You need the money. Sign 1 year. No emotions. No expectations. Ethan thought it was a cruel joke, marriage to a stranger. But then he saw Noah lying in the hospital bed, pale and small, and understood. He would walk through fire for his S. So he agreed that he didn't know the bride's name until he arrived at the mansion. Arya, Beaumont heiress to the Beaumont Empire, paralyzed from the waist down after a tragic accident, cold, distant, spoken about in whispers. Ethan entered the golden echoing hall. The air felt heavy, like a place where people breathe money instead of oxygen. Arya sat behind the massive glass table wearing a deep red dress, the wheels of her chair glistening. She didn't greet him, didn't smile. Her expression was carved in stone as if kindness had been burned out of her. Her voice was soft but emotionless. This is a contract, Mr. Malik, not a fairy tale. Don't expect warmth from me. Ethan nodded, jaw tight, hiding the sting those words caused. He signed a not for her, not for himself or for Noah. But as he lifted his pen, he caught Arya flinch just slightly, as if the sound of the signature hurt her deeper than she let on. In that moment, Ethan realized something. This contract wasn't only saving his sit, was saving her from something too behind them. Noah held a toy car watching, confused. Arya saw him for the first time, and her eyes softened just for a heartbeat. A heartbeat Ethan almost missed. The contract was signed, their lives tied together in ink and necessity. But that night, Ethan heard Arya crying alone, behind a closed bedroom door. Tears she tried desperately to hide. He didn't know why not yet, but he would. And when he did, his heart would never be the same. The first weeks of the contract were cold and mechanical. Ethan slept in the guest room. Arya stayed in her private suite. They spoke only when the lawyers required it. But Noah is sweet, curious. Noah was the bridge neither of them expected. He knocked on Arya's door one night with his tiny toy plane. Can you tell me a bedtime story? Daddy is working. Arya froze. No one had asked her for anything gentle since the accident. She hesitated, pain flashing in her eyes, but Noah's innocence broke through her walls. She nodded. That night, Ethan returned to find Noah, asleep on Arya's lap, her wheelchair by the fireplace, her fingertips brushing the boy's hair as if it were the first warmth she'd felt in years. Ethan stood, silently watching the woman he thought was made of stone melt like candle wax. In the glow of the fire, their eyes met, and for the first time she didn't look away. But the moment that truly changed. Everything happened a week later. A violent thunderstorm shook the mansion. At midnight, Ethan rushed into the hallway when he heard a crash. He found Arya on the floor, her wheelchair toppled sideways, her hair soaked with tears. Don't touch me, she whispered, broken, not angry, just shattered. Ethan knelt beside her, ignoring her resistance, and gently helped her sit up. Arya, let me help. Why? Her voice cracked like glass. You're here because you needed money, not because you care. Ethan swallowed hard, realizing how deep her wounds ran. Everyone I loved walked away when I couldn't walk again. She whispered, You'll leave too. You all Do. Thunder boomed. Rain hammered the windows. Ethan lifted her carefully, placing her back into her chair, his voice steady despite the storm inside. Arya, I'm not them, her eyes filled, trembling, vulnerable in a way he had never seen that night. He sat with her in silence until the storm passed, not as a contract husband, not as a man trapped by circumstance, but as someone who finally saw the truth. Arya wasn't cold. She was hurting. And in that quiet, fragile moment, something shifted between them. A spark. A beginning, a promise, unspoken. Ethan didn't know it yet, but that night was the start of a journey that would heal wounds neither of them dared to touch. It was the night that changed his heart forever,